After 8 years of radio silence, the fighting franchise done by NetherRealm Studios that redefined DC video games is staging a comeback. Injustice 3 is officially in development, and today we're going to do a deep dive about what's confirmed, what's possible, and what fans like you and I are hoping for. We're going to start off with what we know. So NetherRealm Studios has officially begun development on Injustice 3. The voice actors of Superman, George Newbern, and Green Lantern, Phil Lamar, have confirmed that they're recording lines for the new game at the Houston Nostalgia Con. This aligns with NetherRealm's pattern, especially with support for Mortal Kombat 1 finally wrapping up. We also found job listings are being surfaced, and they're also mentioning an unannounced AAA project with cinematic story and ambitions, which are pretty solid indicators that it's Injustice 3. We also have leaks from trusted data miners, plus an Ed Boon arcade style tease add to the drumroll. Reports suggest a possible 2026 to 2028 release window, and I'm hoping for the earlier than later. Before we look ahead, let's go back, and we're gonna talk a lot about going back here because the Injustice 3 story hinges on one thing: how NetherRealm handles the two radically different endings of Injustice 2. Ending 1 was where Batman wins. He locks up Superman in the Phantom Zone and essentially dismantles the regime. But here's the key moment is Supergirl emerges as the hopeful new protector of Earth, like Superman used to be. But even Batman says, in brackets, you'll be Earth's new protector, close bracket. This ending sets up a world of fragile peace, a democracy slowly rebuilding after years of Superman's tyranny. But it's also a power keg. The people who supported Superman still exist. What happens when factions clash? Does Batman become a symbol of freedom or an authoritarianism in disguise? And then we have Superman's ending, where he's victorious, and if you sided with Superman, he kills Batman and then enslaves Supergirl using Brainiac's technology. Superman's regime becomes absolute. No resistance, no rebellion, Earth is under a Kryptonian iron fist, and in his final line, Superman says, in brackets, "You belong to me now," close brackets. That is dark, and it sets up a terrifying world, a dystopia where Superman reigns unchecked. So what does NetherRealm do with this? Three possibilities that I see it. One, path one, we're going to call it, is the Batman ending. So if they canonize the Batman ending, this is the safer option in terms of the ending to choose, where Superman remains in the Phantom Zone, but we know he'll break free. Maybe he teams up with Brainiac remnants, or even Darkseid finds him. Either way, this could set up a redemption arc or a revenge arc for the character. Part 2, or Path 2 in a way, you canonize the Superman ending. This is a bold one. Superman rules, Supergirl is enslaved, and Earth is a full regime state. The game becomes about rebellion, hope, and the return of free will. This could give us a darker tone than any previous Injustice title. Or they could do a completely separate path between the two and actually merge both timelines using the multiverse. So this is path 3 that I'm thinking of, where let's picture it as MK11's Chronica concept, two timelines colliding. Heroes from Batman's path clash with regime, loyalists from Superman's. Imagine Batman confronting a version of himself who joined Superman willingly, or an alternate Superman who never fell. This creates ultimate fan service and narrative chaos, and also would be the more logical answer in a way if they want to include the best possible version of between the two endings and don't know which one to choose. I think it'd be pretty neat to have a version of the game where both characters are fighting different versions of themselves from different universes. If NetherRealm wants to escalate, they need a universal threat, one that dwarfs both Batman and Superman combined. That's where Brainiac or Darkseid returns. Imagine Darkseid manipulating timelines to pit Superman against Batman, forcing them to work together again. Or Brainiac 2.0 weaponizing the multiverse. Alternatively, NetherRealm could surprise us with Trigon, Anti-Monitor, or even a Watchman twist, with Dr. Manhattan teased in the comics could finally appear. We're going to do a quick pause in the talking of the game right now and do a character wish list. So let me know down in the comments below what type of characters you want to see in the game. But I'm thinking characters like Etrigan the Demon, Hush, Plastic Man, Black Canary, Static Shock, the return of Bane, introduction to Riddler, return of Deathstroke, and many other characters that I cannot put on this list, but I will quickly squeeze in Killer Croc, and maybe even the Parasite. Gameplay mechanics, let's expand with MK1 ideas, assist mechanics like MK's 1 cameo fighters, summon another hero / villain mid-combo. Look, I personally found them annoying, but it'd be pretty cool to kind of have like Batman and Robin teaming up fighting Superman and Supergirl in a way. Arena transitions tied to multiverse, knock someone into a different timeline even, maybe, like the abilities in Injustice 2 when you're smashing someone through a wall and you go to a different part of the map. It'd be cool if you can smash them through a different timeline of the map. And a faction system, pick regime in surgery, or neutral for perks and dialogue changes. Would be pretty cool for the game, and I think it'd be pretty cool to have that type of free change in a way. Look, and we know they do cosmetics in a way with introducing different versions of the skins by unlocking some points, so maybe they might bring a cosmetic system back and maybe even have the ability to upgrade characters beyond what we saw in Injustice 2. So in Injustice 2 we had a really cool cameo. In Injustice 2 we had a really cool customization ability where you can make your character unique, change the color, change everything about him, but also each equipment that you used had an additional point in skill or altered the suit in some way, making you a lot stronger than you were before. It'd be cool to have characters like Superman from the DCU or Jason Momoa's Aquaman, similar to how they are in the mobile games with the characters. It'd be cool to have that kind of freedom of selecting and actually having the superhero characters from the movies appear in the game as well as cosmetic designs. And who would the final villain be? Well, I'm speculating here, Darkseid, Anti-Monitor, Trigon, or even a corrupted Supergirl leading the next regime. Look, I personally think it would be cool to have Injustice 3 with like an overarching villain, it's like the Anti-Monitor or even Darkseid. Having the twist of an evil Supergirl, I'm gonna be honest, I'm not 100% sure on how I feel about that. Because her arc so far is really good. Having Brainiac return would be kind of cool. Return of the Collector, possibly enhanced by multiversal tech or tech upgrades would be pretty cool. But I feel like a multiversal threat like Darkseid tied to Apocalypse would be pretty cool. And I think I personally would have either Darkseid or the Anti-Monitor as the main villain of the game. And that's just my thoughts. But let me know, guys, down in the comments below what you think about who should the main villain be. I'm sticking with Darkseid. And to summarize it all, Injustice 3 is officially in development. We know this now by confirmed of the voice actors. We also know that job listings are around and the studio has been teasing its work in progress for a while. We could see different characters making an appearance or a first time appearance or even a returning appearance. We know Jon Stewart's confirmed. We know Superman's confirmed. We obviously know Batman's confirmed. But it'd be cool to have characters like the Anti-Monitor as a playable hero or villain, or even, depends on the storyline, or even have Etrigan make an appearance as well. We don't know much about the story about the game. We do know that there's 2 branching timelines at the end of Injustice 2, and with whatever they pick, I know the game will be peak, and I really want Darkseid as a looming threat to the ending villain. But here's the question: do you want Injustice 3 to follow Batman's world of fragile peace, or do you want it to follow Superman's world of tyranny, or a brand new multiversal war? Drop your thoughts in the comments below and hit that subscribe button for more. Have a lovely day. Peace out.